Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
One person was arrested following an hours-long standoff with police in central Sioux Falls yesterday. Police say a man with a gun threatened officers who were serving a warrant around 11:30 Tuesday morning.
The incident prompted police to close roads near Lowell Elementary School as SWAT members surrounded a home a couple of blocks away. Police arrested the man around 2 p.m. and reopened the streets. Right now, we do not have any information about the suspect. A 21-year-old Rapid City man is headed to prison for a 2022 shooting death. Quincy Bearrobe was sentenced to 65 years in prison for killing 19-year-old Myron Blaine Poirier.
In October, Bearrobe pled guilty to manslaughter. More serious charges were dismissed as part of the plea deal. It also came with the agreement that the state would seek a maximum sentence of 75 years with 10 years suspended. A Mitchell man who admitted to beating and killing his girlfriend's dog last summer is in jail this morning. Aaron Hachecki received a 90-day jail sentence.
His defense lawyer had asked for probation, but the prosecution wanted prison time or at least jail time.
Pretty shocking when you are able to review the reports and review photographs and videos and other evidence that was collected. But we're confident that we got a good result with there being a conviction of a felony and there being jail time imposed in the case. I feel as though our office did our job well.
Hachecki's attorney said in court that he apologized to the dog's owner in person and by letter. She was not at Tuesday's sentencing.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. A cold start to the day, Scott, but warm days on the way.
Yes, we are looking at a cold day today. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s for highs across eastern KELOLAND. Will be a little warmer central and western South Dakota. I think we'll see numbers in the 40s in central KELOLAND, 47 today in Rapid City. Warmer weather set to return for tomorrow. Brian will have more details on that coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. A family is calling for change after their daughter was able to buy a gun and take her own life. Haley Barrick struggled with mental health issues her entire life.
After being released from an inpatient mental health care facility on February 19th, she was able to buy a gun 2 days later and take her life.
Federally mandated is there is a 48-hour hold from the time of doing an application for the gun to when you're supposed to be getting it. But state law in South Dakota is no hold. None.
Haley's family is calling for a mandated comprehensive mental health evaluation for people seeking to purchase firearms to make sure those with mental health issues don't have a similar experience to Haley's. If you've been thinking about adopting a dog, today is the last chance to get one for a discounted price at the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society. The shelter is offering a $20 off promotion for all dogs because they've seen an influx of pups and don't want to reach kennel capacity.
The executive director also says now might be the best time to adopt because of the more mild weather we've been seeing.
Now is a great time if you're thinking to adopt. The warmer weather means training animals outside and taking them for walks is going to be a little better than it usually is.
Oppenheimer says they took in 89 animals over the weekend. Since the beginning of the year, they've taken in nearly 1,200 strays. You can also help with the influx of animals by donating to the shelter. We provided a link with that information under this story here at KELOLAND.com. The South Dakota State Foosball Championships in Flandreau brought in players from all over the country. The three-day event wrapped up this past Sunday. For a Minnesota father and his two kids, the event has become a family affair.
14-year-old daughter Maya was the defending women's champion, and 17-year-old Jacob has gained the highest ranking as a pro master in less than 3 years.
The kids were in distance learning from school, so they were on school on their computer at home every day. So we're all home every day with, not a lot to do, and I'm looking at my table thinking, I think we should play every day. You guys will be amazing, and that's kind of how it started.
Last year, at the age of 16, Jacob held his own against the top player in the world. The South Dakota Foosball Championships drew more than 150 players.
Look, a lot of fun. Well, that is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather whiplash continues after a dramatic start to the week. 70 in Sioux Falls on Monday. Yesterday, big front, big wind, and some snow and all of that, leading to quite an abrupt change in the weather. Now, this morning, we've dropped down in the single digits, both above and below zero. Kind of average that out close to zero. And now we get to see how fast we can step on the accelerator, and we can go from 0 to 60. Maybe not in 10 seconds, but we can do that in 36 hours. I think very likely. So that's the way this pattern looks. Let's take a look at today. We'll first of all march through this afternoon. Sioux Falls, I think, will settle out close to 30 or 31 for high. Hourly temperatures are maybe just a little bit below that. You can see the numbers in Rapid City, pretty respectable, back in the mid-40s. Notice the wind arrows, kind of pushing more of this southwesterly wind, and then that'll be key to keeping those numbers tonight not as cold, and I would favor tomorrow morning. We're going to start off with more 20s and 30s, actually. Even Sioux Falls may bounce out of the teens pretty quickly. And then, well, it's off to the races we go. 50s and 60s tomorrow afternoon. Winter, 65. You know, that's quite a rebound. 60 in Yankton. And that's all due to that push of air coming right back out of Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas. And I think there's more where that came from. We're going to stay way above normal in our forecast into the weekend. Highs today about 30 in Mitchell, 47 degrees in Rapid City. Here's your 7-day forecast. And as we plot the numbers here, 64 for our anticipated high on Friday, 65 Saturday, 64 Sunday. So no excuse to stay indoors. At least open the windows, hopefully get some fresh air. And if you like working out and tackling some of those early spring chores, well, maybe you could do a few things. You can't do a lot yet. We all know the calendar says otherwise when it comes to greenery and working out in the yard. But certainly you can take advantage of some of that. And we'd encourage you to do that. Aberdeen, too, a very nice weekend. 55 tomorrow, 61 on Friday. We're in the 50s for the weekend. We'll kind of keep an eye on Sunday into Monday. There's a cold front that's going to come through. There will be a temperature change across South Dakota. Perhaps we pick up some moisture with that frontal system. I'm not convinced it's all snow. There could be some snow, though, with it. And as we look at Rapid City in the west, same idea. We start off the forecast very mild in the 60s, and then we pull back the rains a little bit Sunday to Monday as we bring in some moisture chances. Check out the details about that story online at KETHLELAND.com.